Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Taking a look here at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. We're just going to quickly double check our playout charts from yesterday, kind of see how things kind of worked out for us here with Bitcoin. So the symmetrical triangle did break down. We had a fake break of the descending trend, and the price ended up pulling back as per usual. So it's kind of common for breakout traders to have gotten destroyed in those situations. Unfortunately, that's kind of par for the course. But this area at 66,000 has officially been swept. Majority of that liquidation is gone. We'll probably have a lot more late longs in the market right now, which are probably, I would say, not smart. I don't think it's wise to take a long right now. But again, that's just my thoughts here. The delta yesterday was increasing for shorts. So the more shorts in the market, the more likely the price is to pull back. So at that point, or this point now, what are we looking at here? Well, let's go ahead and discuss a few key factors in the back end, and then just kind of overall summarize what happened and what's going to happen next. So if you are new to the channel, just hit the like button. You've been watching for a while. Thank you again so much for always hitting that like button. I think we hit a record of like 120, 140 likes or something yesterday. It was definitely 120 plus. So thank you again for that. Please keep it up. Deeply appreciate that. So let's take a quick look here, of course, at the liquidation heat map. What's going on for the last 7 days? Well, this is that official sweep there. They did miss a little bit of liquidation. There's about 3 billion left at about 65.9. So I think we're still due to see a bit more correction to the downside. So not really the greatest place to consider longs, but the truth is we want to look at Bitcoin dominance and kind of understand where altcoins are going right now. There are some coins that are running to the downside with Bitcoin. There's others that are holding strong. So I think the important thing to do is to kind of look at the Bitcoin chart and compare it with the coin you're planning to trade, and just kind of recognize the correlation. If the coin that you want to take a trade with is holding and going sideways while Bitcoin is ranging and going down, then that's a different story altogether. That might be a consideration, but I would generally imply, I'd like to reaffirm that taking a long while Bitcoin's dumping is never usually the best call. Again, that's just kind of a general strategy here. So this delta is increasing. As we can see, there's a lot more shorts in the market. As per usual, when you break a range, you'll start to see people flood the market. And as soon as Bitcoin hit that, 66.9, 66.8,000, there's a good chance that these increased right here. In fact, you can see it right there. As soon as the price hit 66.7, sorry, that's hard to say, we can see the amount of shorts increasing significantly. Now, a lot of that's because longs were getting destroyed, and there's just that natural reverse polarity. But at this point here, while you might think that the delta is too high and that would be a cause for concern, it's really not that bad, all things considered, because it's only 3.5 billion. Again, 5 to 10 billion is usually that sweet spot where you want to start being a little concerned with being a late short. I'm not recommending you be a late short right now. You generally don't want to do that. Same for late longs either, but the same accord here. We're in a situation where the price action could continue lower. But as per usual, in most cases, you'll see a retest of the previous low. In this case, 67,000 is probably the next target. We could very well see a rally back up there and then a false positive to break down if it doesn't close above. Either way, open interest is still at 68,000, as we mentioned previously. That's the heaviest concentration. 67.5 is also that secondary amount. So a lot of people were taking longs in that 67.5 range, and unfortunately they got pretty well hammered out. So again, that's just kind of standard par for the course stuff here. We did secure some nice profits here. Just to quickly congratulate our community members, 20% in 2 days there. It may not seem like a lot, but we shorted from 66.7 to 66.050, and effectively took some nice profits there. So congrats on that. But what we want to talk about here on the daily time frame is quickly to recognize some important things and kind of see where we're at, because we do have a couple of other shorts in play right now. AVAX is one of those that's in heavy profit, and then Dogecoin is just kind of like, it's kind of working itself into a range too. I'll cover that here soon. See if we may need to want to close that or keep it open, because it's performing very well contrary to Bitcoin pulling back. So there's that. Anyways, that's sidebar. What we want to talk about here is the daily time frame, simple moving averages. I have this ascending trend line drawn out based on the 20-day SMA. That's usually the trend setter for most time frames. So I love to use the trend line associated with that, just to give us perspective of where we're at. So when we're on smaller time frames, we understand that we're still bullish on this overall trend. I would say unless we close somewhere sub 64,500, that macro 0.618 golden pocket area, then we're probably likely to see a continuation higher from here. And at this point, this is that standard bouncing point. You see previous high. We had 3 days in a row rather, where we saw the price action wouldn't go any higher. That, in combination with this being the new low, that's kind of an area of consideration, right? In other words, you could hypothetically take a long here and have some success. Once more, it's just that natural retest of that previous high. So just know that's kind of how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to see like previous high work as a new low and vice versa. So 66K could very well be our initial bottom. Okay, so just heads up on that. I think we spend enough time in this range, there's a solid chance we're going to bounce. Because if you look here previously, this is what you want to look for too with doji candles. You can see that this doji right here is implying reversal. So generally speaking, in this 24-hour period, the price couldn't go any higher. So we have a doji candle or two forming at this base at 66K. That should be a cause for consideration for a long, right? Once again, that's just a candlestick pattern. We want to look at everything else too, but those are little things that increase your odds of success. MACD is diverging, stochastic swinging back. We're getting closer to 50. This does reaffirm the fact that we could very well come down lower and still have support. So my money is on 64,500 as a rough estimate as the next area of retracement if we continue to lose 66. So again, that's just a macro area. There's a lot of confluence at 64,000 in that range. So just know that's a possibility if we end up losing 66. But we got to give 66,000 a chance to hold, right? Either way you look at it here, we've got what, about 4 days worth of, 4 hours, 4 candles, 16 hours of continuation of the downside. We could see another 20 hours further down, hypothetically based on TD sequential and just generally speaking how overextensions work. So we're not overextended to the downside by any stretch. We're just simply lost support at 67,000, and we need to presume that'll be the new resistance for us. Okay. So I'll clean up our charts here, folks. Of course, this level that I have here, based on the 4-hour time frames at 66,800, that's probably more specifically the area that is support, just based on previous candlestick closures. So my money is on this here, where the price action just kind of comes up and continues lower. Once more, we got to give it a chance to hold and see what happens here. But that's kind of what we're looking at. So 4-hour time frame, quickly to note, we are hitting this little sweet spot of 30 on the RSI. It's very common to see a bouncing point here because we're overextended. And the reason why is because the mindset of people right now feels like 66,000 is a good value. However, money flowing away from the coin tells us that people are selling just as much as they're buying, and it's usually not a good sign to kind of consider taking along, unless of course you are going to plan to watch it close, get in and get out quickly. I would say if you're going to secure profits, 66.5, 66.8, 66,900 is a worst case scenario. Those are areas in which you should consider securing profit. You should not take a long to the stinking moon at this point. There's no reason for it. It makes no sense at all. Okay, if somebody's telling you that this is a perfect place to buy and they're trying to convince you to take a trade, I would consider looking elsewhere. You should convince yourself not to take a trade at all times, right? Now, when we took our short position, we had a pretty strong case. We had a lot of bearish divergences. We're closing below key level resistances. We had a symmetrical triangle. There's a lot of things kind of adding to the equation. But I would tell you right now that if anybody says that a long position is viable right now, they're reaching. Okay, there's just a simple way to understand it. Again, that's just my personal opinion, but the way that I do things is maybe a lot different than other people. I'm not, I'm not the quintessential crypto trader. We'll just put it that way. But again, traditional markets, being in that industry for over 15 years prior to crypto, I can tell you that that's helped me get a good foothold and a foundation of just not being a nonsensical idiot. So let's take a look here. Ichimoku Cloud. We quickly understand this is another confirming factor for me. And here, let's just go ahead and clean up the chart here. I'll post a new playout chart here, anyways. That's available again on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord if you're not familiar. But if we look here, we can see the cloud, right? So this ominous red cloud, this is basically just a series of moving averages letting us know that we are below key level resistances. Okay, so the price action, recovers, for example, the likelihood of it rejecting off this lower lead is quite high. And there's that, and then in combination with that, we have this momentous indicator too, letting us know that we have momentum to the downside. Big surprise, of course, we know that. You can see it by looking, but that confirms the fact that we're in good shape. Same thing here as well with the lagging span. That is free and clear, also in good shape. Keep in mind, I'm referring to in good shape as a short trader right now, okay? Because again, we're short-term bearish, but macro bullish, right? If you understand that, I hope you do. You got to recognize that this is a natural correction. I mean, Bitcoin really kicked off too hard, too fast. Everyone's screaming bull run. And the realisticness of it is that we have a lot of resistances above us, and it's going to take a lot more volume to get through that. Right now, money's flowing away from Bitcoin, and we're just seeing that natural divergence. So this is nothing to write home about or to scream and yell about. This is just normal stuff. Anyways, the whole point of this is that we are essentially creating lower lows and lower highs. So until that is broken, we have no reason to cause, or no reason to get excited about the price going up. Okay. So that's just kind of easy way to understand it. I hope that makes sense, and I did describe that correctly. Once more, I'll post all our information here on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. I do not recommend any longs right now. I did forget to look at Bitcoin dominance, but the easy way to understand it is it's plateauing / increasing, which essentially means that altcoins are pulling back. Keep in mind, this is not the cause, this is the effect of altcoins pulling back. So just kind of a good barometer of where things are at. The more money going into Bitcoin, the worse it gets for altcoins, especially if the price of Bitcoin goes down. If you're not familiar with that, I do have a education section here, and I have it pinned. Maybe I'll repost it so it's easy. But if you understand kind of the overall sentiment here, generally when Bitcoin price goes down and Bitcoin dominance remains stable or goes up, you will see a dump and or the price of alts go down. Okay, and that's kind of where we're at right now. So taking a long in spite of everything right now just makes 0 sense. That's just me personally. All right, so I hope I'm wrong, and the price does go up for everyone else. But for our community members and anyone else who considered a short and are in profit like us, congratulations on that. I would say it makes a lot more sense to leave that short position open and to consider a further downside until we, at the very least, establish higher highs and higher lows, or perhaps even a range between 66 to 67K. That might change things a little. Anyways, we're far ways away from that. Thanks again, though. I hope you all have a good day. And to those who've just been liking all the videos and commenting below, I really appreciate you. Thank you. You're a breath of fresh air. I mean, minus the occasional troll, which is it's normal because people are a lot of times in denial when the price goes down. They get really mad about you telling them their favorite coin's gonna pull back, and I get it. There's a lot of money involved probably, but the truth is, you want to look at this without emotion and just be an awesome person, and I really appreciate you doing that. So anyways, thanks again so much for watching. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Take care.